Welcome to Rutgers versus Northeastern University, game number 1 here on the Rutgers University League of Legends channel. I am your host, Collegiate, and my co-host here.
Keldrick.
All right, and so we will begin soon. But before we do, let us take a look at the current standings that we have for both teams. So in the Northeastern, I believe sixth, Northeastern sixth standings. Rutgers University is in third place with Northeastern University, known as Ban Der Udir, in a close fourth. This match will determine the second place seed for this tournament here, and we will soon see the victor of this series. And our junior varsity team, the team that Keldrick and I are both on, are at the top of their standings with an 8-0 record. I'm so proud, Keldrick. And let's see. One more thing. I believe that the varsity team has actually played against QC Rising Knights and ended up with a 1-2 record against them, ending in a loss. But Bandar Udyr also played against the QC Rising Knights and resulted in a 0-2 record. So perhaps Rutgers University has that slight edge over Bandar Udyr. We shall see as we soon begin draft out here.
And one thing I would like to mention going into this draft are the compositional styles that both Rutgers and Northeastern University employ in their gameplay. Typically, you will see Rutgers go for more of a supportive role in the mid lane with Rem, while they allow Decipher to play carries such as the Nidalee or the Graves. And it will be a Samira ban coming out from Rutgers at first, Northeastern going for the Camille. Northeastern University does like to have their top on supportive picks such as Sakarma or Lulu just to help enable both their mid and jungler to carry. And it looks like Rutgers will be listening to the namesake of Northeastern and banning their Udyr, a very strong champion this patch with the Phoenix stance max into either the Chemtake or Sunfire. You're just able to deal so much damage pre-11 that no one can really contest you, and it does allow you to just control the early objectives as well as the early game.
And not only that, but word on the street is Trick2G has recently tweeted out that he has found the counter to the meta top laners, such as Camille, Renekton, Darius, and that is, in fact, the Udyr with the Phoenix Stance Max. So, possibly a double whammy there, taking it away from both their top laner and their jungler here. Very good ban from Rutgers. The Camille and Pantheon banned away from by Northeastern. Very classic picks that Rutgers likes to run often. The Camille is honestly always their first pick in most situations, in most drafts if it's left open. Very good ban from Northeastern predicting that over here. Taking away the Pantheon is a great flex pick taken away from Rutgers. It could have gone both the jungle to the top lane, even to the mid lane. A beautiful flex pick that offers a lot of tankiness with his E, offers a lot of global presence with the ultimate. So another good ban from Northeastern, and the bans have closed out. Rutgers actually electing to ban the Graves away themselves here. Interesting decision considering that they could have first picked into the Northeastern's jungle pool, the Graves, but I'm curious to see. Oh, well, Seraphine is a champion, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely a very strong champion this patch. She can be triple flexed, one very strong piece. On top of the build she does go, the Moonstaff Staff of Flowing Water build is so strong on her due to just the amount of AoE and range she has, allowing her to just easily proc it, as well as just her innate safety when it comes to her W being a shield and movement speed steroid. The Olaf going to be coming in here as well as the Kaisa, two incredibly strong champions this patch. Olaf just able to run you over, and the Kaisa just assisting in all the diving a team could possibly want to partake in.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I have lost the pro draft link. Give me a second.
I do think that this Seraphine could be going towards the mid lane or the support. Transact not one to usually play the supportive picks, and it does hold true. He will be going to Zaya, which makes me think the Seraphine's going mid, because Zaya typically wants to have those engaged supports that can just lock down an ADC so she can get her feathers and get the root in, as well as Zaya just having a really good matchup into the Kaisa. So it does make sense for them to draft it here. The question is, do they go for the Rakan? Typically, you will see Zaya paired with the Nautilus, with the Leona, as Rakan isn't that strong. And I do believe that is a mispick. It is a Talia, not the Rengar. I would have
Alright.
been a bit excited for it. It's very strange pick to be certain, so it does make sense when they go for the Talia. Renekton does remain open, but it looks like with an R3 Leona, I do foresee a Rel ban here. Rel does offer the CC Zaya does like, and hard counters the Leona due to how her attract and repel works on the E. Can just stun Leona as soon as she goes in.
I like how Rutgers decided to pick their jungler instead of their support or mid here in that third slot pick here. Not picking either actually prevents Northeastern from reading into that Seraphine, whether it's going to mid or support, and basically force Northeastern to play that Leona. And now Rutgers has the option to flex that Seraphine mid to and have a support have a little better of a favorable matchup, as you said. Look for that Rel if it remains unbanned here. Look for that peel for that Zaya. But the Rakan is banned out from Northeastern, taking away the classic duo that Rutgers perhaps wanted. And that, I guess that means that Northeastern is expecting that Seraphine to be going mid.
I do think the Irelia ban is actually really interesting. The Irelia ban does speak to me that Northeastern did want to draft the Renekton. So I guess Rutgers was fearful that they would first pick it. Renekton Talia, a very strong duo. You just get so much dive potential off the level 3 due to the slice and dice from Renekton, as well as the Talia full combo.
A really good Echo band coming from Rutgers as well. I agree with your concept of looking at their current picks right here. Olaf, Kai'Sa, Leon are all very capable divers by themselves. Pairing an Echo into it makes a really potent dive comp. And taking away both the Renekton for the tankiness and the Echo for the get out of jail free card on the Chrono Break is a really important bans from Rutgers here. And it forces a mid laner to play a little bit more of a passive role, such as the Orianna, who's going to be looking to get that ball in through the Leona, through the Olaf, and hell, maybe even the Kai'Sa if the opportunity presents itself here.
Yeah, it looks like a trap has been laid by Northeastern. They are saving their last pick for the top lane. This actually allows them to decide as soon as Rutgers does get their last 2 picks in, if they can play that support top lane, such as the Lulu or Karma, into a champ that won't get used. And it looks like Rutgers will be drafting the Ornn. I actually do foresee either a Soraka top or a Lulu or even Karma coming in here due to Ornn's just inability to deal with them in the early game. Ornn Talia, not exactly a combo you want to see when it comes to abusing an Enchanter solo lane. And
yeah, I
like
definitely agree. And but another thing that it looks like Rutgers is going for is they're going for a little bit more of a PO comp away from the dive comp that Northeast is currently looking into. I'm sure that they've foreseen that the top laner is probably going to be looking for a supportive champion, Soraka, Karma, Lulu, looking to enable them. However, because they took away the picks such as Renekton, such as Echo, they lose one more potential shield target. They lose one more potential heal target to just face tank into the Rutgers team. And now the only options for them to bank on is now the Olaf and Kai'Sa. You're not going to be constantly shielding Orianna, who's going to be backline most of the time, poking away. So if Rutgers is able to keep that peel and peel that Olaf away from the Zaya, peel that Kai'Sa away from the Zaya, if the Kai'Sa decides to go hard enough, it's really good comp for them to fight on their own terms. They want to prevent Northeastern from doing the I'm going to face plant into you, I'm going to fight you with all I have.
Yep, and there comes the Soraka. Soraka into Ornn, she's gonna be getting that free lane. You're gonna be able to get her Moonstone and the Staff of Flormar to just help enable her team that much more. The Olaf is going to be incredibly hard to kill into that team. They could be able to kite it back due to the Seraphine, as well as just the move speed from the staff she will be building as well. But I believe that Northeastern has the better draft here.
Yeah, I mean, giving forcing Rutgers to pick the Orin was, again, as you said, really genius move. You know, letting them see whether or not they can go for the comfort picks that they like to pick in the top lane, whether or not they can go for the because otherwise, if they don't pick an Orin, right? Say they pick a Darius, say they pick a Irelia that was banned by Northeastern, say they pick a Fiora, something aggressive, they won't be able to pick the Soraka, this Karma, this Lupu safely. So banning away those champions and forcing Rutgers into a blind top pick allowed them to play into their comfort zone. And now Northeastern's playing a comp that they know like the back of their hand, whereas Rutgers, I want to say that they don't really play this like heavy peel comp very well. Usually Rutgers runs something like the Galio, the Camille, right? They play dive, they force the fights to the enemy team. But now they're on the back foot. I'm interested to see how they're going to play this one out here.
Yeah, I actually do think it is an interesting choice to not go for the Rel here. Rel, I feel, is just a much better matchup into the Leona, especially as Alistar, who wants to get the Swifties or Mobies. You can't go what Alistar's mostly go into Leona, the phase rush, due to just needing that tenacity from the unflinching, or just going for the Merc Treads rather than the Mobies or Swifties, which is not something you like to see as Alistar, the champion that needs to make these flank plays, needs to make these roams and get them off. Another thing is the Xayah Alistar is a bit strange because while Alistar does want to make these roam plays, Xayah as a champ has a bit of a hard time actually being alone without her ulti up. So if this Xayah does have to pop her ulti, we most likely will see the Alistar being chained to lane with her just to make sure that Transact is able to farm up and become the hyper carry threat of a player he is.
Yeah, and definitely looking into that a little bit more. The jungle matchup, I feel like, is what we're really going to be looking in for. How does Cypher plays this Taliyah into the Olaf? If he is able to find the early farm lead that Taliyahs usually end up getting, if he's able to get that early clear up and get those early ganks off, he can change the pace of the game. The Taliyah here is the key for Rutgers' composition. Because if you look at the Rutgers team, they have very, very little pick potential, right? They have the Alistar engage, and they have the Seraphine ulti for long. But their team fight is mostly played around the full 5v5, right? They have big ultis such as the Orin ultimate, they have the big ultimate such as Seraphine ultimate, whereas Northeastern is looking for skirmishes. They don't want to get huge blown out 5v5s because that's where their Soraka is put at risk, right? That's where a stray Seraphine ulti, a stray Orin ulti is going to hit that Raka, and then somebody's going to jump on top of her. So how Rutgers plays and how the game plays out is going to be really reliant on this Taliyah and how she decides to move the game along. Because currently, the pace is going to be dictated by Northeastern. They have winning lanes right now. They have a winning mid matchup. They have a winning, well, not winning, but they have a pushing mid matchup. They have a winning top matchup by all means due to the Rocket having a range advantage. And I'd even argue that the Kai'Sa Leona is a slightly stronger lane than the Xayah Alistar. So the Olaf is going to have a lot of freedom to move around, whereas the Taliyah is going to be slightly on the back foot. She needs to find those opportunities in between the really pressuring plays that Northeast is going to come forward with and look for the game potential, look for the pick potential, and moving around with her teammates and without getting caught herself. Let's see how the Cypher plays this one out here. Alright. Also, another thing that I like to point out is the Orin. Rutgers wants to play for scale, but what you see on the Northeastern side is that Raka can scale just as well, Orianna can scale just as well, Kai'Sa scales just as well. The only person that falls off into the late game would be their Olaf, and I guess arguably their Leona, but at the end of the day, a Leona is still a meatball in the front line, right? So Rutgers playing for scale here is a good choice, but they can actually get matched here. So again, Rutgers really need to play for that early game a little bit more. They need to play for the proactive plays instead of the reactive plays, because if they let the reactive plays get to them, they are going to be the ones getting pushed in, and they're going to be ones at a disadvantage here as they look for objectives.
I also won't be surprised to just see both teams opting for that Death Ball style ARAM it down mid come later into the game. Both teams don't necessarily have the best champions to side lane, or not exactly taking turrets the fastest. Orianna and Seraphine not exactly known for being able to just push out the sideways, get that side lane pressure. Neither is Soraka. So it most likely will just come down to who death balls the better, who can get that one engage that can just crack open the map for either team.
Yeah, I wanna be able to see I'm a Nice Guy look for those Alistar flanks, because that's gonna be what changes the game, right? How Decipher plays it early and how I'm a Nice Guy finds those flanks and finds the engages is how Rutgers is gonna look for those openings into the very healthy and tanky front line that Northeastern has here. So we will be back once the spectator delay ends and get right to the game. The first game of the Rutgers versus Northeastern series here, determining the second place seed for the Northeast 6th region for the CSL Star League. We are back and the game has begun. Both teams. Oh, actually, Rutgers opting for the 5-point, but the Northeastern team opting for a stack here instead. Oh, never mind. They seem to be separating. The jungle is. They're electing to let the top brush be left open here, but given that we did scrim them, Keldrick, they do know about the RU screw, so they might be positioning to prevent that here,
Yeah,
leaving that top brush open.
typically if you do have the stronger level 1 with Northeastern having the Olaf, you don't necessarily need to fan out. You can look for these level 1 invades. You can look for gang sweeping out that early vision, getting that early lead off just having the stronger combo 1. Get any small advantage you can. Obviously, Northeastern not opting for a, instead go for a bit of a safer play, just stacking in Pixel. They could potentially be going for a late invade,
Late
and
invade,
they
I agree.
are.
Yep,
They
I
do.
agree.
I'm Nice Guy does spot it out. It looks like the red buff will be taken, so a bit of vertical jungling going to be happening here. Just isolate Transact and I'm Nice Guy from the Decipher, prevent Decipher from getting any of these early plays down in the bot lane. He doesn't necessarily have the best gank setup other than there, so it does make sense for him to go there. And with Kaito Kid warding the red buff, Olaf will be able to tell if Talia does opt in for the steal, he can run straight through mid to match the Talia. He will be stronger than her.
No,
It
I
looks like.
actually, yeah, I actually did not like Loki Lol's pathing right there. Him opting for the Raptors here essentially handshakes his red buff away, but I do believe that he could have looked to fight for that red buff a little bit more. He didn't need to completely give it up here. The Orianna is able to the Seraphine will push a little faster, but the Orianna will be able to move in time and not lose too much in regards to the mid wave. But him taking those Raptors is essentially saying, okay, we are actually full vertical jungling. You get the top side, I get the boss side. We're just gonna play strong side. And honestly, it's not the worst idea, but I feel like he doesn't have to give up the top side. I feel like he can push a little bit more, see whether or not the Cypher is willing to fight him for that buff, because his Soraka actually has the lane pushing. His Soraka is actually supposed to be the one with advantage due to having range. But Talia does indeed end up taking all of the topside jungle, whereas Loki Lol shakes away the bot side. Both junglers off to a
Yep.
relatively even start.
And down the bot lane, actually, Transect being pressured a bit off the CS, gonna get engaged on by Lina, but the headbutt pulverized into the turret, gonna be chunked down to 1 HP, gonna have to pop both pots, gonna save up the biscuit though, and comes out just barely alive, no heal needed.
Yeah. I mean, a well played by I'm a nice guy, but he still did take quite a bit of trade damage. So both supports are actually at around the same health thresholds here. With I'm a nice guy with one more health part,
Yeah.
one more health pot. But we do see the Olaf hovering the boss side here, potentially looking for a dive. But
Yeah,
both health
Transect
bars are
just
low.
used all his cooldowns as well. He will still be able to clear the wave, so I don't think this dive is going to work out well. They do both have the flash still, and it looks like Olaf just gonna be counter jungling the Krugs, most likely will reset. And yep, there he goes.
I mean they get a freeze off in the bot lane, so no dive can really happen here. The minion wave is unable to push in to the Rutgers tower here. A ward was actually placed by Rutgers on the Raptor, so they actually do know that Olaf did leave one small Raptor there, so it actually should give the Cypher a good idea of Olaf's pathing here. It looks like the Cypher is moving towards the mid lane, and perhaps
Oh,
looking for a
headbutt
gank
pulverize
opportunity.
onto Leona. Gonna miss the Transect, gonna miss the root. Ali gonna block the Void Seeker out from Kaisa. And just another small burst trade that's gonna chunk HKV to even lower. But in the mid lane, the root from Matt is going to land, and Orianna is just gonna get blowed up. No flash used.
Yeah, and that's the power of the Talia in the early game, right? Her burst is so high and so potent here. Interesting that the Cypher opted for the phaser, but I guess that is the correct choice against an Olaf possibly running you down. Talia is able to easily get the three instances of damage off to get away. But looking for
Oh,
such
but the
a
root gonna land again from Rem.
yeah, a greedy backstop. I mean,
Oh, in the bot lane, more fighting. Headbutt Pulverize gonna land as well as the Ignite. Flash shield used by Transact. HKV gonna get blown up. Was greeting his biscuits a bit. So he did not have the health for that all in.
Yeah, and now that the wave stay is like this, and they know exactly where Olaf is now that he's just taken the dragon, Rutgers can elect to set up a slow push in and crash the wave before Olaf's able to respond here, hopefully. At least I do hope that's what they're planning on, because if they let this wave sit here, the wave is about to be in a very, very bad spot. So, yeah, they're pushing it out somewhat slowly, but I guess they want to keep it even. But now it is indeed I'm a nice guy with the huge health deficit. But
Yep.
here we see the Cypher in the Tri-Brush looking for a gank
Headbutt
here.
Pulv is ready. Onto the Leona they go. But Zenith Blade onto the Talia. Gonna land. HKV might be able to walk out, but here comes Rem on the flank. Leona, no flash. Gonna surely go down here. Transact gonna pick up the kill for free. But Loki Lol actually gonna zone off Rem from the mid lane. Will have to bleed out this wave. But here comes the Cypher to back him up. Gonna get free scuttle as well with I'm Nice Guy walking up here. And in the top lane, actually, the Ornhorn gonna land. The Q slow as well onto the Thraka. Gonna get the Q heal and move speed, but gonna have to burn Flash due to the perfectly angled Searing Charge.
Well played from low top here, forcing the flash from Kaito here. Actually, interestingly enough, I mostly see Soraka tops taking barrier instead of teleport, right? They can sustain in lane for a very long time, especially if they take barrier. There's very low kill pressure there, but that one was a little too close right there. Him needing to burn that flash away, and that was very successful to a Talia gank.
Oh, Loki Law actually looking for a bit of an invade here. Talia clearing out her bot side, so it will be a free blue buff pickup. I'm Nice Guy's gonna spot it out, but by now it's gonna be a bit too late to pick it up. Unless,
Yeah,
no.
no, they
No,
don't
looks
know.
like Olaf just gonna get another free camp.
Yeah, it seems like he's just able to do just that. I'm Nice Guy does not predict that he's going to go for the deep invade after the Orin backs, but here we have Lil Top checking the brush, and he does find out that Olaf has taken everything, and immediately pings begin to come out as Talia looks for her camps here. Interesting, still pathing towards the top side, even though she knows that the blue buff was taken.
Yep.
Electing to just give away the buffs, I guess.
Oh, and this Kaisa gonna be in a bit of a dangerous spot right now. Leona passing back just now, has the ulti to potentially escape the Alistar, but Leona gets back just in time to prevent the dive from happening. Transite gonna get a few cheeky autos in as and Oink goes to clear the wave. It looks like Transite gonna look to potentially just blow it up, may get some vision on the dragon or even reset. Ping's
Yeah,
on the way mid from from Rem. He does have his ulti up to look for any CC lock on the Yorina. She still does not have the flash up for another 2 minutes, just about.
yeah, and if you notice, Transact actually has bot, and Oink hasn't. With the pickaxe and double longsword advantage, nearly every single fight is going to the wave Transact, and he knows just that. He's pushing the wave in over and over again, forcing the Oink bot lane to stay, and unfortunately Oink has
Oh,
to
headbutt
give it
pull
up.
as well onto Leanne. It looks like it's a dive attempt. The Zenith Blade not going to do anything. The W not going to be enough, and she goes down just like that.
Yeah, perfectly executed dive from Transact, and I'm Nice Guy. I'm Nice Guy doesn't even need to burn Flash or Ignite here, but the Olaf is
Oh,
here.
but the flash from Olaf! Man mode onto the Alistar and Transact. The headbutt pulls! Not gonna do much with the Ragnarok up, but he's gonna eat so many feathers on the return. The Blade Caller gonna blow him up. He will get taken out by I Am Nice Guy.
And a trade of sums for the jungle, actually the Transact wasn't able even to use heal there. I don't believe it was up, but forces the Feather Storm out. Interesting choice from Oink, not electing for freeze, instead electing to push out the wave, which I disagree with here. The Olaf is not going to be boss side for very long, unless he wants to contest Drake, in which case this would be the correct play.
Another thing you do typically see coming out of the Kai'Sas is the Surrey Dirk Rush into the Kraken Slayer or Gale Force, so you are just able to hit that Q evolve that much sooner, as well as getting that lane strength from having the early Dirk. Because the Dirk is easily transitioned into a Collector second item, you do get that Q evolve, you do get the lethality from it, you just become so strong with the isolated Q.
Yeah, beautiful ward.
Oh, mid lane. HKV, level 5, gonna get potentially spot out by the Cypher here. They do not have vision of him just yet at the end there, however, so HKV gonna be able to walk it out.
A really good ward from I'm a Nice Guy in the middle of the river actually allowed them to see see exactly where the Leona and the Olaf was. So great ward setup here from the Rutgers side, preventing Rem from getting caught out here. But now this is about to be a fight for the Dragon, as both Lil Top actually has a teleport advantage, whereas Kaito will not. So Dragon is started up here.
Oh, TP coming in from Lil Top. Soraka using the ulti already.
Yeah, but Soraka actually very smartly cancels the Orin TP using the silence there.
Oh, but here comes the Weaver's Wall, gonna completely zone out HKV. You are not where you want to be. And it looks like it might be a free dragon, but it looks like Northeastern still contesting. Olaf ult is up, but the Shockwave gonna lay on his Cypher, gonna lead him straight to the Olaf. Here comes the Charm. Olaf running over, but does not have enough resistance. He shredded them with the Unstoppable. Orianna gonna get beefed on by the Dragon. Alistar prancing all over here. Here comes the trample, here comes the stun. And it's a 3-for-0 play for Rutgers. They all limp away.
I mean, what can I say but well played from I'm a Nice Guy, looking for that engage onto the Orianna and forcing the ultimate to come out early there, and then once again forcing the Olaf to fully commit to that chase. But you know, the peel is just really strong.
Oh, but top lane, Ornhorn, the silence actually gonna stop it completely. You cannot recast with that. The Leona is here, but maybe it's just a formality. The clap from Ornn. Level 5 Leona ain't gonna do anything for you there. And it's a
I'm,
solo kill for Lil Top in the top lane.
I mean, all I see are just massive blunders coming in from the Northeastern side. There's no world where even if the Leona shows up that you can counter kill or even save your Rock at that point. Very greedily saving the flash for next season, I guess. Kaito dies with his summoner up and pays for his life. And another reason why I say that I don't think the TP should be the summoner.
Oh,
that Kaito's
over
picking
headbutt
here.
pulls onto the Orianna. HKV will actually be able to save his teammate this time. Just gonna be a small chunk of damage. Decipher not really nearby. Gonna be handing off the blue to Rem as well. Rem not opting for the tier.
Yeah, and note the level difference between the two supports. I'm a Nice Guy, full 2 levels up. The Leona has just hit level 6, and I'm a Nice Guy has been level 8 for actually quite a while now. So the level difference in the bot lane and also the level difference in the top lane is going to have a lot of impact in these future team fights here. 4,000 gold ahead now. Rutgers is at a very comfortable lead with their current team comp. They are exactly where they want to be. They are at a point where they can effectively peel off that Olaf, they can effectively peel off that Leona, but now Rutgers does spot the Olaf running straight down, but Northeastern doesn't respond to their jungler walking down. The Leona not even looking for engage there. Very interesting choice, and a random Zenith blade being thrown at absolutely nothing. I think her brain was lagging about 5 seconds behind.
Yeah, it also is an interesting thing to see the Alistar. It appears he is going for the chem tank. Recently, they did do a just a small change to 2 of the tank items to allow them to be built by sports. They reduced the price by 400 as well as cut down on a bit of the health and resistances they give just to help open up the support mythic tank diversity due to them mostly reverting Shirelles into an AP health item rather than just the raw health item it was in the preseason. And with the Alistar being a full 1.3k up on the Leona, he is able to just easily go. He does have his support item at 900 gold, Leona having just got hers to 600, as well as just having the 2 kills to help supply him with the money, because at the end of the day, it is still a fairly expensive item to buy.
Yep. Olaf here looking for a play in the mid lane here, as Rem is not going to get caught by the Orianna ball, and the shockwave will not be used here. But the Herald is now spawning, and both team has their eyes on it as the Cypher moves towards the topside jungle.
Ooh,
And
I am Nice Guy actually going to threaten the engage with the turret soon to be going down rather soon. He is able to just walk up and say, hey, if you stick around, we might just kill that turret and we might just go on you as soon as it dies.
yeah, notice the Transmag has the Gale Force complete as well, so he has that extra little bit of safety and the extra little bit of damage that he's going to need for this turret dive. But I'm a Nice Guy, actually roaming to the mid lane and looking for the Herald play, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Northeastern has no idea that he's left. But as he passes through mid lane, they will spot it. But this is a free Herald for the Rutgers side here. Absolutely no contest here. The Talia, 1 camp ahead of the Olaf right now, but that's exactly where she wants to be. If she can stay ahead of this Olaf, even by just a little bit, Talia does enough damage to burst Olaf through the Ragnarok, especially if he tries to run after her. The kite potential that Talia has is going to prove to be really important here.
With the Dragon coming up in a mate, you do want to get your resets in. You do want to buy your pink ward stuff, that Dragon Vision. I'm not sure if Northeastern does have the ability to contest this. They have the Soraka ult up. She is level 11. It's healing for a whopping 290 up to 430 based on how low they are. Not even factoring in the Moonstone as well as the Revitalize she took. However, it's just so hard to fight against the Seraphine. Seraphine has completed her 2M Coordinate. She has the Moonstone. She has the Staff. She has all the AP in the world she needs. And on top of that, Talia has completed her Mythic. Zaya has her ult, has the Gale Force, has her boots too. But it looks like Northeastern gonna be able to get to the Dragon first, gonna be able to get that River Vision control. And Alistar is not exactly in a position to flank that he wants. Soraka resetting, gonna be pathing down here. Ornn does have the wave to TP to, but he opts in for the ward in Pixel. Here comes Soraka as well. Bit of a visual bug on the Alistar on my screen. He is flying just a tiny bit. But here comes Weird Wall, gonna section off HKV and Orianna perfectly. They're gonna go straight onto him, but here comes the Soraka. 3-man shockwave, Ragnarok onto the back line. There goes Olaf, gonna be healing it all up. Seraphine ult, gonna land on Soraka, gonna blow up Olaf. Kaisa gonna ulting, but gets caught out just a tiny bit. Here comes the minefield. So much healing coming in from Rem, from the W as well. They do not have the sustained damage necessary to get any kills there, even with the Soraka ult.
And notice that right before the Dragon fight, Rutgers actually dropped the Rift Herald mid and was able to almost take 2 towers here. And once this wave pushes in, I guarantee you that tower's being taken. Orianna with the
Alistar gonna headbutt Paul, gonna blow the flash from Orianna.
Really well played. Another key cooldown gone. Yeah, another key cooldown gone, and that much easier of a flank for I'm a Nice Guy here. And that Herald play was really, really well done. Combining it with the wave crashing with the cannon here, the Herald was able to stay alive for a second charge and easily take off enough health for Rutgers to get 2 turrets and a dragon off of them, and accelerating their gold lead from a mere 4,000 to an almost 7,000 gold lead now. And honestly, I'm surprised that more people didn't die on the Northeastern side. They were so far out of position due to Decipher's Weaver's Wall. I'm surprised that the Skies Blue actually survived, but that beautiful shockwave actually barely managed to get him and his teammates out and alive here. And but now Rutgers is in control. They're in the driver's seat, and everything's up for the taking for them. And with no objectives up, Baron spawning in a minute and 30, I want to see Decipher and I'm a Nice Guy and Rem walking into the topside jungle, taking vision control, fighting whoever they see because they can. They have that Moonstone completed. They have the Staff of Flowing Water completed on Rem. Nothing is going to die at this point.
Yeah, and on top of that, I'm Nice Guy does have his go button. He's completed the Chem Tank. While it is a bit more pricey than the Righteous Glory from Season 10, it's still effectively the same. You just book it straight at the enemy. You're able to get your combo so easily on anyone that is even slightly out of position. Olaf gonna be positioning for maybe a pick, but Transact gonna be pinking it and catching him out. Well, Loki Kid gonna have to just leave. They can't really get the catch onto Lil Top. Orianna has decided to match him. Typically, she is fairly strong into the tanks due to them not exactly being able to get on her, especially with the phase rush, and she can just wave clear it.
And actually, I want to say something. The Cypher's actually in a pretty poor position right now on the opposite side of the map of the spawning objective here. And he doesn't actually have a lot of gold to back off on. Around 720 gold can get him you know, after the Crux can get him at most a Blasting Wand here. And given that he's completed his Ludens, there's not much for him to get. He should be getting the vision control in the top side alongside I'm a Nice Guy, alongside...
Oh, no, I'm a Nice Guy actually gonna be caught out a bit by this Olaf. Gonna be popping Olaf. TP coming in from Ori. Alistar might have bit off a bit more than he could chew. Maybe he can headbutt Orianna to get out, but gonna get shockwaved. W and dead. A free shutdown over to the Olaf.
Yeah, well played. Committing a TP for it, however, I'm not exactly sure how worth that is. Given that the objective has just spawned, they have to be looking for an immediate start on the Baron here, given that they committed so much to that play. But
it's just
that you're just scrambling for vision right now.
Not in position. He reset just before that play happened. He did pick up the Dirk, but other than that, they didn't really accomplish much other than getting a shutdown. Yeah. I am Nice Guy. Unfortunately, just a big caught out looking for some vision in the jungle. Did not expect to see Loki lol there. Popped the ult for to cleanse the Undertow from the Olaf, but it didn't really matter after the Orianna TP came in. Was able to shockwave pull him in and get the kill there. Yeah. Other than that, bit of a lull state as Drag comes up in about a minute 30. Olaf gonna be resetting, gonna spend his 2k gold he just picked up. And other than that, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to point out that even though, yes, they did get that pick, they did get that shutdown on the Olaf nonetheless, but the amount of resources that they committed there, right? The Orianna teleport, most importantly, takes away a teleport advantage that Northeastern used to have. Rem had to use his teleport, was able to use his teleport in response to the Orianna teleport, trying to push out the mid wave and force something to happen when he saw for top. And now that they're teleportless in the mid lanes, but Lil Top is having his teleport come up, I feel like having the Orianna be able to push out a wave on the side and be able to come into the fight later is going to be so much more important for Northeastern, because now Rutgers is shutting them out of all the vision that they can grab, right? This is what I was talking about. The Cypher, I'm Nice Guy, and Transact are walking together and going into enemy jungle looking for vision for this dragon here, and very weirdly backing off of the vision that they just so
They do want to push
desperately
him in. They
gained.
still have the potential pick it. Olaf gonna be chunked to half HP there, actually. Gonna be very low. Soraka is nearby to heal her up. Moonstone is proccing a tiny bit as he was just in combat, but they will have the push on the mid wave. Olaf gonna be oh, Leona Zenith Blade flash in. The Orianna ult as well on top gonna blow him up. Transact gonna be dead off the back of this play, but so is Kaisa. Predatory Instinct not enough. But Olaf gonna have to flash out. No Ragnarok up just yet. And it looks like it's gonna be a 1-for-1, a trade of ADCs.
Yeah,
Olaf
but
gonna be looking for a bit more poke. Orianna QW gonna land as well. Gonna chunk Rem a bit, who is running out of mana. So he will have to use it a bit more sparingly. Has enough for about 5 more spells. Gonna double W, get them to the dragon a bit sooner. This is their soul point. Alistar gonna get pulverized by this Orianna combo. Olaf gonna kill him. Here he comes, gonna Gore Drinker as well, gonna Undertow chase after this Decipher. Decipher gonna stopwatch, walk it out just a bit. QW barely gonna whiff from this Orianna. The Weaver as well gonna come down, gonna zone at the Orianna. Orianna's completely out of this fight now. Shockwave, second time in the fight, out of nowhere, gonna blow up I Am Nice Guy Decipher. But it's a trade as Transact is back in the fight. Blade Caller into Leona gonna take her out. And it looks like after that long, about 1.5 minute fight, Rutgers comes out on top in a slobber knocker.
Yeah, I listening to you talk about that fight made me tired, because oh my god, what a fight that was. Orianna able to get 2 shockwaves off at the same time, and although the first one was solely for Transact trying to pick him off, and in fact they did, they had to sack their own AD carry, and then now it was the only Orianna that was able to do a lot of impactful damage, and unfortunately the Cypher is still able to output a lot of damage. Seraphine also has a deceptive amount of magic damage in her kit too. So them being able to kite out that entire fight and waiting for that Decipher Weaver's Wall coming up for a perfect separation is able to get them that win inside that dragon pit here. And Ornn is level 14 now, so you know we are going to see the Ornn items start to come through for the members of Rutgers here. And with Soul Point at hand and Baron up, I mean, Rutgers can be looking
the
for
first of many upgrades has come in. Transact gonna be having his Gale Force upgrade to the Typhoon. Gets 80 attack damage and 35% attack speed from it. No upgrade crit, unfortunately. That's just how it is. Wiltop gonna be pathing down to match the Soraka, who is pushing it in. Gonna not clear out the blue trinket just yet. Gonna miss it, I believe. Wants to get the bot wave first. Vision. Yep. Soraka completed her staff, but meanwhile, Rem, however, is on 3M, the full 1 eye above on the Soraka, as well as the 18 stack Mejais. He is providing so much healing, so much damage. Has 300 AP on top of it all.
Yeah,
it looks like
and you
they
know,
could be posturing here for the Baron. Lil
yeah,
Top
and
is heading up.
And drafting the Olaf here, like, they need that Olaf to be able to get to the backline, right? They need him to be able to, at the very least, zone people off or blow them up. But Rem just says, I'm just going to press W in your face and give everybody a 300 HP shield. What are you going to do about
and
it?
here comes the Ornn. Gonna land onto the Olaf. Hopefully try to force his ulti. But meanwhile, the Soraka gonna come down. Does not matter. This Leona is just chain CC to death. Lil Top tanking it up. There's so many shields and heals coming onto his Olaf. Gorjunker as well. Gale Force onto the Kaisa, but she's gonna be able to eat out of it all. And it looks like it's just going to be HKV getting picked off at the end, but most importantly, no Soraka ult and no Olaf ulti. How are they going to be able to walk up to this Baron other than for a cheesy steal?
Yeah, and notice that Rutgers knows that Olaf's flash is still down. He traded flash for flash with Transact, so the timer is on their AD carries, and the Weaver's Wall is still available. Decipher can cut off their entire path off here.
Headbutt away. The Alistar, I Am Nice Guy goes, gonna trample all over this Soraka as well. The Flash Bellows Breath from Ornn. Weaver's Wall gonna block them off from the rest of their team. Kaito Kid, you are gone for sure. Rem chasing him down, gonna get 80 different passive notes off onto the Kaisa. Solar Flare onto Decipher as well, but it's just none of this. Oriana bounce housed around. Gonna be taken out as well, and they're just deathballing it down mid, and the surrender from Northeastern comes out.
And that is game 1 for Rutgers here. Very, very decisive win. 19-5 scoreline with a 9,000 gold lead by the end. Very, very well played. Playing their comp to the T. Peeling off that Olaf. Peeling off that Kaisa. Preventing that dive comp from working. And they knew that off the back of researching into their opponents. They knew that the Soraka was going to come through. Or the Karma or the Lulu. Looking to enable that jungler. That mid laner. But unfortunately, they were unable to push through the front line that is an Orin, that is an Alistar, and the heals and the shields that Rem provided. That Seraphine pick, first pick, denied them so much damage because all that damage was instantly healed up by the Seraphine. Really well played from Rutgers here, and a great game to close out of as we enter the second game draft soon. But I mean, they played their comp perfectly. They knew what they were looking for. They knew what they had to do to make those fights work. And with impactful ultis such as the Orin Horn, the Seraphine Charm, Talia's Weavers, while cutting off so many players to look for those picks, look for those favorable fights, Rutgers is able to come out on top finally with 2 decisive back-to-back team fights at the Dragon and the Baron.
Yeah, I just think it was definitely
Mhm.
definitely a bit of a moonstone difference coming out that game.
No,
Rem is
I
just
completely
able
agree.
to provide so many heals and shield. All the kiting his team needs to just escape out of any fight, disengage everything. And HKV was just not able to do anything there. Anytime he went to engage, in came the Seraphine ult, in came the Alistar Headbutt Pulverize, in came the Root Blade Caller from Transact. He was not able to get into any of these fights, and anytime had Solar Flare up, he had to use it defensively to just disengage.
Yeah. And I was watching. I was watching I'm a Nice Guy. Both fights, right? He went in, he pressed R, right? He should be done. Right? Alistar usually only gets 1 solid engage off, maybe 2 if he wants to go in head first into a team fight like that. He pulled off 5 combos at that banner fight. 5. And his health dipped below half 5 times. And he was healed back up 5 times by the Moonstone. And I just find that so absurd that he is able to get that, because technically speaking, he should be getting sacked every single team fight. He goes in and he doesn't come back out. But the number of times I see him drop to 1 HP, back up, Rem pressing W 2 times, him being full HP again, and going back in it made it so hard for Northeastern to play around the engage that Rutgers had here. And again, of course, as I said, decisive Weaver's walls, making the team fights work in their favor, cutting off the Oriana at the Dragon fight, cutting off the escape paths of both the Olaf and the Leona at the Baron fight, really allowed them to close out the game and force a forfeit, knowing that the end was coming. After the Baron fight was over here. But we will be coming back into draft soon for game number 2 of Rutgers versus Northeastern here. Stay tuned. Easy clap. Northeastern University CSO match week 9, game number 2. And we are back here. One small announcement to make before we begin. On February 5th, 2021, here from 7 to 9, we will have an ARAM 1v1 tournament hosted by our club, Rutgers League of Legends here. Sign up through the Google form and play for a chance to win Rutgers esports gear. All Rutgers students and alumni are welcome. If you've got a .edu account from Rutgers, you can join. So come on in, have some fun. We're going to have a great time in the ARAM 1v1. Best of luck to the participants. And we will begin draft soon here as we
Wait,
enter program.
Nucleic, you're
Yes.
telling me I can play against the people from the Rutgers varsity team
Oh,
in this
not only
1v1
not,
ARAM tournament for a chance to win Rutgers esports gear?
and not
What?
only that, you can play against the Rutgers University junior varsity team.
We have a junior
Wow.
varsity team. What?
Uh-huh. And let me tell you about that junior varsity team. Okay, before we get too excited here, we do have news that QC Rising Knights, which is the #1 seed in the varsity group, has been defeated by the current #2 seed Penn State Junior Varsity in that very same group. So in fact, this match could be the placements for first seed instead. But, I'm just going to say that, Junior Varsity, which is Cal and I's team, we kind of beat them in 2 scrims in a row 2-0. So just put that out there. Just make sure everybody knows. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, so come along to the ARA 1v1 tournament, and I'll see you there. I'll be your opponent probably.
It looks like draft about to begin here. Gonna be happy. I would like to see Northeastern University ban out some of the more supportive picks of Ram, ban the Seraphine, potentially even ban the Galio rather than the Camille. Obviously, the more supportive top laner pick didn't really pan out. The Soraka wasn't able to make much happen in the early fights, wasn't able to influence it with her R due to just not being able to get her item soon enough. She was zoned out of a fair bit of CS early on. Ornn was out farming her, did have about a 10 CS deficit against Lil Top early.
Yeah,
But it
I
looks
mean,
like draft gonna be starting here.
I want to see a
Northeastern
Seraphine ban.
University's ban their Udyr, going to be blue side here. And it looks like the first ban is going to be, drumroll please,
It's
Camille.
the Camille! What a surprise. I mean, I was expecting that. You know, they don't want to give Rutgers the Camille. It's their staple pick. Um, and I hope to see a Seraphine ban from Rutgers. I really do.
Camille, also just a really strong blind pick top laner you can do in this meta. It looks like they are sticking to the same ban so far.
Yeah.
The Camille and Pantheon ban coming in. Rutgers Varsity not changing either. They do have the Smear and Udyr ban on deck, just like that.
I want to see the round 3 ban from Rutgers be that Seraphine. I think that, you know, Bandit Udyr's so proficient at playing that top support that I can almost guarantee you that they're going to pick that Seraphine either top or mid. And yep, there it is. There's a Seraphine ban that I'm looking for. Rutgers, knowing how powerful that champion is, does not want Northeastern to take away that pick here. And now I'm going to be interested to see how Bandit Udyr plays. And yes, Rutgers did indeed drop Grave ban. So now their Graves one-trick Loki Low now get his champion. Graves is historically a very, very strong jungler. Hasn't even been nerfed yet. I'm very angry about it as a jungler, but you know, Rito is Rito, so whatever. But I want to see an AP pick from Rutgers. Elise got nerfed recently, but still a relatively strong pick into Graves, I'd like to say. Hell, maybe even an Ivern, but given how the plays, I don't think the Ivern's going to happen, given that he's usually put into carry positions such as Talia, the Graves, the Olaf, the Hecarim, etc. Alistar is coming out here, though. Another Peel pick, blind pick. I'm a nice guy. How do you feel about the blind Alistar here?
I think it's honestly pretty bad. It depends on what HKV is capable of playing. He can choose to go the Rel here. I would like to see a great Galio Rel pick B2, B3 here. You counter the Alistar, and Graves Galio is just such a strong early 2v2 team, especially with what I expect to be a supportive top pick such as a Karma or Lulu. This Graves is going to be nigh unstoppable depending on the draft. So I think it would be a good idea to play around it, but they do go for the safer play. They're going to get their ADC counter pick, most likely going to be a support counter pick as well. It's going to be a Thresh. He can play the Pulverize, and Aphelios Thresh is just such a strong composition. It's not as strong as, say, like Aphelios Lulu, which I honestly might have preferred, but with the Alistar, it's just so hard to play an Enchanter into it.
Yeah, I really dislike how they picked the Alistar. They could have picked the Kaisa. I think that a Kaisa first pick is, sorry, a Kaisa red side first pick is a very good pick. It's a really strong AD carry pick, and self peel has dive potential. You know, it's a fine blind pick, but them still neglecting to pick their jungler here, I think, is a very interesting choice from Rutgers here. Hiding away that jungler, I suppose they want the Cypher to play something that impacts their entire team here. Just like how the Talia was picked super early on the blue side. Makes me confused at what Rutgers is thinking here. Blind picking the Ornn once again here, basically asking for Northeastern to pick a supportive top again. You know, bully that Ornn. Well, at least try to, because it didn't pan out too well last time. But I'm curious as to see what jungler they have hiding that they need to, you know, pick so late, and you know, and finds a need to let the support be counterpicked and the AD carry. I think that's a blunder on their part, honestly.
What I wouldn't be surprised to see here is a Galio R4 or R5, depending on how much they do want to hide their jungler. J4, while not strong this patch, is still open, helps enable the dive, throw everything in the Cataclysm. You get the Ornn ult, you get the J4 Cataclysm, you get the Galio R, who is still up at, I would like to mention. It looks like ban their Udyr going to just look to ban out these dive champions. They've banned out the Camille, they've banned out the Hecarim. They just want to play front to back, and they also banned out the Yone. Hurem has been playing a fair bit in these games.
Yeah. He got a very strong pick as well in the mid lane, very easily blindable, has very good sustain in the lane, has very good trade patterns. by literally just pressing E. The champion is absolutely obnoxious to play against, and very good ban from Northeastern, making sure that Rem can't get an easy lane. Interesting to see how Rutgers will respond here on the 4th pick. This will determine who gets the counter pick here. And the Karthus is picked, so I'm going to assume that's going to the jungle. That Karthus is probably going to the jungle, and I actually like that.
Definitely an interesting pick composition-wise. They will pick the Sylas most likely here. Does have a fair bit, good ultis to steal Alistar. Just get that easy 40 to 60% damage reduction, as well as the cleanse. You have the Karthus ult just for the AoE nuke, the Ornn if you want to look for engages, or Kai'Sa if you want to look for dives, and get the massive shield. Makes sense here, as well as you get that nice AD AP damage split between your soul lane and the jungler. Just allows you make your gank damage that much more potent.
You know what I think Rutgers wants to go for here, Kel? You know what I think they're gonna pull out on the round 5 pick?
Zoe?
Notice what champion that banned their Udyr changed out to ban the Talia instead. I think you know what I think you think what I'm thinking now, huh?
I think I see what it could be. I do not wish it is that.
Yeah, I also don't, but
it's just a really strange comp coming out from Rutgers, I think. Karthus doesn't really fit in at all in this comp. He's gonna be power farming, he's gonna be power cleaning, gonna be level, gonna just nuke all his camps as quick as possible. Also, may I mention, it is the Sylas top here.
Yep.
Very strong matchup in the Ornn. It's a Tristana solo lane here. Very interesting pick into the LeBlanc.
See, I assume that you were also thinking about the Irelia here, right? Like I was thinking that Rem was going to look for an Irelia pick here, but when the LeBlanc was locked in, that's a little bit of a harder matchup for Irelia. I actually assumed that Sylas was going mid, and Sylas versus Irelia is a very Irelia favorite matchup. But given that the LeBlanc's pick, the Tristana pick is very interesting here. It still conforms to the dive-ish kind of deal that they got going on here for Rutgers, but I feel like Rutgers is a little bit too like 1 foot in one pond and 1 foot in the other, right? They have a Karthus for the power farming and the late game scaling, right? And they have the Ornn item, but then they have aggressive mid lane burst like marksman like Tristana, right? They want to look for the fights and skirmishes in the mid lane. They want to be aggressive in lane. They want to be jumping onto the LeBlanc and looking for trades. And then they have an Alistar for peel, and then they have a Kai'Sa for dive. I feel like they got their fingers dipping in a lot of different comps. I'm interested to see how they're going to play this one out, because Banner Udyr, right? They're looking to counter engage. Their entire team is all about counter engage, right? LeBlanc for quick burst, with Sylas picking off any of those ultis for an engage back into the Rutgers team. Thresh looking for hook, Thresh flaying Alistar away, then looking for hook back in, right? Aphelios peeling with Chakram, not peeling, but like, dealing damage with his ultimate Chakram Shuriken in the team fight. Like, Bandit Udyr has a relatively clear-cut team comp. They want to look for the counter engage. They want to look to come back into a fight, especially with cooldowns such as Sylas W, such as Graves, like, dashes, smoke screen. They want to be like, in and out. But Rutgers here is, I can't really see what their plan is. I don't really see how they round out that team that they have.
I just think it's strange. You see the LeBlanc mid, you have your Karthus jungle, your Ornn, your Alistar. You don't necessarily have that much wave clear to your team. You don't necessarily have, I wouldn't say enough CC, because Ornn, Alistar, I would say, I'm not comfortable with having only them. And you lock in Tristana, which I believe just does not have the greatest matchup in the LeBlanc curve, being able to just dodge out of the Tristana W and just escape her WE Hail of Blades or PTA proc. So it just comes off as strange to just see it being picked here. It doesn't necessarily offer you much other than that hyper scaling AD damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the Rutgers composition here. I still have my doubts, but then again, I also did have the doubts on the Rutgers composition in the last game, right? They did look, but their composition was a little bit more clear-cut last game. They were looking for that peel, right? They were looking to back off and peel off the Northeastern engage, and then look for the long, extended fights that they will eventually win out on. But here, they don't have a Moonstone user. Unless they make Karthus go Moonstone, which is absolutely bizarre. I don't think that's going to happen.
I would wish that would happen. It's
I
never
don't think
going
that's
to.
gonna
I
happen.
would
I
wish
don't
it would
think.
happen.
Yeah.
I think it'd be the funniest thing ever.
I don't think the Cypher's gonna put himself on a Moonstone
If you think
Karthus.
about it, because who needs the Siracle when you can Karthus R and heal someone within 1,000 units of your own body for a
I
heal?
mean,
Yeah,
true, but
sounds pretty
you know,
broken to me.
it does sound pretty broken, but they just don't seem to have the sustain for a drawn out team fight like last time, right? Whereas Silas has his W, his staple. I'm gonna heal half my health bar and deal half yours in one button. Graves, his exceptional ability at kiting, at forcing the fight, forcing everybody to fight on his terms, on his cooldown. Aphelios, Severum, I think, is the red gun, right? Severum? Anybody?
Severum is
I don't know.
indeed
Whatever
the
the
red
red
gun.
gun is. Whatever the red gun is. He has sustained there. Thresh lanterns people out, can look for a counter engage, right? LeBlanc, in and out. They can fight a sustained fight. They can play it very slowly, and they can look for the poke. But I don't even see poke on the Rutgers side, aside from them pressing the R on the Karthus, right? Like, the Northeastern literally needs to be walking into the Karthus queues for them to find any solid good poke off. So I'm very curious to see how Rutgers is going to find that full-blown 5v5 in an instant. Somebody gets versus, somebody gets more. Because that's what the Tristana needs to do, right? That's what they want to look for. They want to look for. I kill someone, we're in a 5v4 now. How are you gonna fight? Right?
Tristana definitely is just the ego pick to do here, saying, yes, you are the LeBlanc, yes, you are incredibly strong earlier, but I'm just gonna pick Tristan. I'm going to run you over and extend my lead everywhere, and there is nothing you can do.
All right,
The Karthus, definitely strange pick here.
I was
not
hoping
gonna-
for something like a
yeah.
Nidalee. I was hoping for something like a Nidalee, because at least then you can back off into a Moonstone, right? If pardon my French, but if shit really goes south, like, you know, back off into a Moonstone building, you're still doing something. But with the Karthus, they're looking to go forward, and we'll be right back once the game starts and the spectator delay begins. Don't go away.
If you had it all, would you look the fall in the eye? Could you walk away this time? Do you realize, do you recognize it's never over? 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light on the edge of the night. Feel that rush, feel the time. Can you feel this newfound change? Only yourselves are here again. If you had it all, would you look the fall in the eye? Or would you walk away this time? Do you realize, do you recognize it's never over? Or would you walk away this time? 'Cause we all face the fire as we search.
On go. Welcome back to Game 2 of the Rutgers versus Northeastern series for potentially the first seed of their group here, as both teams begin their trek to the Rift here. And we will see Generic 5-point from everybody. Once again, Northeastern electing to stack their boss side a little bit more. Actually, it looks like their Grace took the wrong turn at the bend and is looking to go to the top side. Standard 5-point. Everybody is just checking each other out.
Mhm.
The bull's staring at the scary pink dude that has flames around his head. Kai's actually walking up here a little risky. They do spot each other here.
Yeah.
Um, HKV and Transact. Um, Here, know what? Let's talk about skins. What skins they got on here? Little top with the Elderwood Orin, very nice skin. The only skin he's ever gonna get for the next 3 years. We got Freljord Silas. I think that's Freljord Silas, right? Yeah. That's
Yeah,
Freljord Silas.
he has a hood and looks exactly like regular sauce. It's a
Yep,
beautiful skin.
it's great. Well played. Well played.
Interestingly enough, actually, we do see Rem going for the Hail of Blades. Typically, you see the Mitristana go for the PTI. I'm not sure if they do go Hail of Blades anymore, because the PTI, you get your 3 autos onto them, and the bomb damage is amplified due to the exposure damage. Just gonna be a simple full clear coming out from both junglers, most likely. It looks like Decipher actually could have messed up his clear. Oh, and the buff resets Decipher. A critical mistake coming out. He greeted his smite, and now it's gonna have to see the buff heal to full. And meanwhile, Graves is gonna clear his red and book it straight to his blue. Decipher
Yeah.
gonna be very far behind.
Cypher's going to be around 10 seconds behind, which is actually a huge amount of time for a jungler to be clearing his camps. Going back to the Hail of Blaze decision from Rem here, I actually think that the Hail of Blaze is taken because he can look for the level 2 perhaps. Not having the Q for the empowered attack speed makes it very difficult for a solid bomb proc to happen. So with the Hail of Blaze, he's able to get the quick 3 shots off into the fully stacked charge.
Meanwhile, little top lane gonna get chunked out a tiny bit. Gonna craft his D shield most likely. You do see a lot of Orns do it. They just start the refill because with his passive, while you can buy anything from the shop, you can't buy consumables such as corrupting potions or pots. They didn't want to give him too much free sustain. So you'll see Orns start refill, and then about 5-6 CS in, they will buy just a D shield.
Oh, and an NB coming in from Loki Low here, looking for that red buff here, and because the Cypher was delayed due to his buff resetting, he's going to walk straight
And
to
he
Graves
does
here.
not know. Graves eat over the wall, so he does not notice it. And it looks like a danger ping actually gonna come out. Maybe they're telling Loki Law not to, because Rem can move first. Invade gonna come into here. And it looks like Decipher's gonna smite it away.
Loki Low's in a terrible position right now. He does have the top lane pushing, so the Silas could move first here, but Little Top is looking for very good trades, and
Rem actually could death brush the LeBlanc here. He might be a tiny bit cut out. The knock gonna land onto the Orn. Ignite gonna come down, and he's just dead. Double jump from this Tristana. A bit caught out though. Flash gonna be burned, and here comes the counter flash. Gonna auto her in. Gonna land the Q and double buffs to the LeBlanc.
Yeah,
A free kill picked up.
Definitely a little ambitious from Ren here, looking for a second kill without any cooldowns up aside from his jump. You know, as I early game Tristana, you don't have the items to just kill a Silas like that, especially when his W's coming off cooldown after just trading with the Orin. Rem, a little bit of an ego play right there, but hopefully it will not change much. A beautiful trade coming out from Kaito, forcing the Orin out of lane here, and now the wave is pushing into his favor, and also is going to freeze at his tower. Really well played trade coming from Kaito, forcing a teleport from Little Top for sure in order to break that freeze. Yep, and indeed, the teleport comes through.
Another thing I'd like to mention that is very important is that while Rem did take the Ignite, this LeBlanc has the TP. Rem cannot match any cross-map plays LeBlanc could potentially make. Also going to miss out on Can there. Bit unfortunate. It has the double D-Blade, so it could be that it's going to be looking for some just short burst trades against this LeBlanc, only to heal it back up. And it looks like Ping is going to come on to Scuttle. It looks like it can be for Loki, but the hook going to land onto him. Here comes the wall, but it's not going to be enough. Going to have to flash, headbutt, and then the pulverize. Perfectly timed, but the flash slap whip gonna come in. Rem over the wall with his W, going to pick up another freebie donated to the Foundation.
Yeah, I mean,
Ram V9 gonna be given a red buff to match the double buff that LeBlanc has.
And actually, that was really needed because the double buff LeBlanc is so much pressure in the mid lane early in the game. LeBlanc's biggest problem in the early game is the mana pool. She can't wave clear properly without using her abilities. And if she uses her abilities, she can't fight anymore. Getting that blue buff and that red buff is so important to her. Being able to get the good wave clear off and also good trades off, most importantly here. But Ram with the red buff back, a little bit more of a stable position for him now. And the Cypher
Kaito Kid actually gonna E in top lane, gonna get a short trade onto him. W not exactly up used at the very start of the trade, so it will come out worse for wear. Lil Top gonna proc his grass, gonna get that permanent max HP. Gonna scale into Oblivion in about 7 hours into game once he gets about 1,000 of them.
Yeah. And both bot lanes haven't backed yet. Both bot lanes sitting on nearly a Noon Quiver's worth of gold here.
But looking mid, HKV gonna make a roam. Built the Swifties Hex Sledge over the wall, but it got spotted out by Rem. He was doing it on a ward. Rem gonna top away, gonna juke out of the chains as well. Cypher gonna walk it in, potentially look for something.
Yeah, and I mean, really well played by Rem here, but unfortunately the Aftershock was enough to save HKV from near certain death there. If that Aftershock wasn't there, I guarantee you that Thresh is dead meat. But now Rutgers gets a free dragon. The Thresh was seen mid, had to back, and now Dragon's theirs. Unfortunately, Transact is not able to go back quite yet, so he will be weak as he comes back to lane, try and collect the wave. But Lil Top here is once again in another fight against Kaito. Yeah, good chunk coming from Kaito, and we do see the Loki Low with Ignite possibly coming up in time for a dive here, as the setup is there.
Looks like he's just gonna be taking away camps. Doesn't want to risk it, especially against an Ornn that is 6. Kind of hard to dive him. He does have the flash up as well. Very tanky. Has just so much health from the bomby as well as just the natural resistances on his passive. Saw's gonna take another E and gonna zone off with Q, gonna land everything, deal about 2 damage, however. Very unfortunate.
I mean, Ornn is just tanky enough to tank all of that, and especially since he has the bombing cinders completed, as you said. He's going to be able to sustain through this lane a lot easier now.
Another thing is, Lil Top did opt into the double magic resist runes, so he's just so much tankier than you would expect him to be. And he is opting for the W max. Last game he did the Q max as it was a Soraka, very hard to just get your W onto them, but with the Silas it's that much easier. It looks like Rem gonna be looking for either it. Oh, he is. It's pinging on the wave to the dive. Gonna land the Bellows Breath, and the Ornn Horn might be a solo kill coming up. Oh, I love the attempt from Kaito Kid. He stole the Tristana ulti and was gonna try to ult Rem back under the turret. Hopefully make him tank a bit more turret shots they would have liked, but didn't pan out, so he does get dove and miss out about a wave and a half of XP and gold.
Yeah, really good dive here set up by Rutgers here, shutting out that Silas who needs that gold to be able to play this lane against Ornn. But now that he's put a little bit more behind, the Ornn should be able to freely sustain through the lane as both Lil Top and Rem back for the Herald spawning here.
Oh, and it looks like there could potentially be a pick onto HKV. He is much for that than he should be. He had no vision on the jungler or the support. He's just gonna get burst down, a free kill to Transact.
Yeah,
What are you doing there?
I mean, looking for such an aggressive ward when you have no information on the enemy jungle, and your AD carry isn't moving, and you see the enemy bot lane moving, it's way too much of an overstep. And now, I mean...
Oh, WQ onto Aphelios here, gonna stun him up. A killer instinct as well, but he's gonna W a minion. Wish it moved out of the way, goes Transact as he flashes the emote and walks it out.
Yeah, I mean, however, I think that was a fine play. He forces the trade of the ultimate to a potential dive threat, and yes, the Thresh is coming back, but Alistar has hit level 6. He does have the dive threat now. Let's see if they go for it, but it looks like Alistar is just going to walk away here. Spots out the Thresh, and just doing what Moo Cows do, you know? Just walking around. Is spotted by a pink ward, however, walking back to lane.
Oh, but Transact looking to cancel the port. Barely gonna miss. Gonna still deny a wave at the end of the day. However, a bit unfortunate they wasn't able to cancel it. It looks like Loki could be looking for a potential play here. Gonna clear out the ward on the Herald. Kaito Kid gonna clear out the pink in try. And it's just... hard, I want to say.
Yeah,
Just so hard
yeah,
for
the Cypher
Northeastern to make any plays.
Yep, the Cypher should be hitting level 7 off this Krug camps to match Loki Low's slight XP lead. We shall see here. Oh, no, not quite. He needs his Raptors. But Loki Low is looking for the Herald here, starting it up.
Yeah, the Cypher
taking-
pinging on the way as well, however, gonna pink and spot out Loki Lol. Looks like he'll have to back it off as Rem is able to move first.
Yeah, and we have the Cypher, and we have I'm a Nice Guy with a very good rotate here coming
Oh,
on board.
Ornhorn coming down onto Loki Lol. Gonna land. Tristana Bomb gonna land as well. Gonna explode. The sky's blue, a bit caught out. I'm Nice Guy waiting at the W, but the flash distortion away. Gonna lead her to safety. Kaito Kid's gonna have to walk this one out as well.
Yeah, and actually they can even set up a dive here if they push in that top wave, but I think all Rutgers members decide. Oh, and the Herald resets the 5,000 HP. Unfortunate.
Oh, but look, bot lane. Lil Top's actually gonna look for a TP here on a ward. Here comes Kite. No, here comes the Sky's Blue. LeBlanc to match it. Lil Top a bit caught out as well as I'm Nice Guy. Gonna get the lantern, but the headbutt away. And oink, you are gone, good sir. The headbutt away from the lantern, so smart. The hook to stop the Lil Top mid-E, but it's not gonna matter.
Oh,
HKV might actually be gone here as well, because here comes Rem with the rocket jump. Flash onto him, but the Grave smoke screen. Here comes double flash over the wall. The Carcel as well on top of him. But just barely gonna live.
Yeah, I mean, that Lantern actually saves the Sky's Blue's life here, and oh, Transact finds the W! Doesn't keep chasing, however.
Yep, Killer Instinct was used earlier onto the Ophelia, so not gonna be able to take out HKV just right then.
Yeah,
But they
oh
still come out on top, a 2-for-0 play.
Look at the gold lead that Rem's about to get here. He gets a turret, 2 turret plates actually. Make that 3? Oh, doesn't quite get that one, unfortunately. I believe that one does go fully to the Cypher due to him being out of range. But he's at a comfortable 1,300 gold lead to his mid lane counterpart here. And is going to be able to complete his Gale Force here. Instead of the Crack Slayer, which I do agree with, there's very little squish, there's very little tanks for him to shred on the enemy team.
And interestingly enough, despite the 5-kill lead that Rutgers has, all of the gold lead is on Rem. As you can see in the bot lane, and Oink just has about 30 more CS than Transact, as well as 2 plates on top of it. Yeah, so the gold is equal despite the 2-kill lead and 2 assist lead that Transact has.
Yep, and once I do believe that once Oink backs, he should be able to get the Gale Force completed. Because actually no, he finished. Okay, so he traded the finish for boots. He traded the finish for boots. He does have the tier 2 Zerker Greaves here, but yeah, Rem is by far the most ahead out of all the Rutgers players here. Solid, comfortable 1,500 gold lead in front of the highest gold lead.
Oh, juke on the hook from I'm Nice Guy, but the Flay gonna land on Transact. Gonna get a few
English,
I can't talk.
Hard. English
yeah. A few hours on Transact gonna have to burn the Gale Force out. Yeah. So a nice and cooldown blow, and very major, honestly, considering the champ set Northeastern brought to the table with the Thresh, with that just so much pick potential.
Rem picks up a free red buff here though, but however his own jungler's red buff is traded away, and the dive is actually looking to be done here in the top side.
Here, no TPs coming out from Rutgers. Running 3-man Ornhorn, Kaioke gonna flash it out. Sky's Blue gonna be tanky as well, gonna take a death on top of that turret. And here comes Decipher, gonna wall him, not gonna land Q. Graves does have the dash out. Kaito Kid actually gonna look, has the W, 500 healing coming in, but with no ulti. Oh, at the last second actually, Loki Lo gonna tank one more turret shot and die.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to say that it was well played, a good setup, honestly, from the Northeastern side. But Orange just too tanky, and notice how he has the magic.
Oh, and TP coming bot lane. Kaito Kid gonna look, he has the ulti. I am Nice Guy, gonna knock him up, but look, he took the Alistar ulti. Killer Instinct to the left side, actually, gonna miss the E2 gun W at the last second. HKV trying to walk it out. And Pulverize actually gonna miss. I'm Nice Guy not gonna pick up the kill. HKV gonna live answer 2-for-1 play coming out in the bot lane, with both Kaito Kid and Anorn picking up a kill.
Yeah, well played from the Northeastern side. Finally finding that engage that they needed. Unfortunately, the Aphelios and Kaisa did trade off, but the shutdown did end up going to the Aphelios, and Kaisa did not have a shutdown on the Aphelios to take in return. But Rem, however, in the mid lane took a full tower and almost cracked the second one here. Once again, at a huge gold lead. 7,000 gold in his pocket compared to the meager 5,500 that the next highest player has on the field side. And he's jumping in, looking for the force.
Yep. The double distortion kind of from Long. Oh, and here comes the Karthult. She's surely dead here. Goodbye. Meanwhile, Loki Law gonna try to look for a trade, but the assist from the Karthult gonna give Tristana one more leap. Graves gonna have to Gale Force away. No more Ignite on him either. And meanwhile, Kaiju Kid gonna be looking for pick on Cypher here. Still has the alley ulti for the tankiness. Gonna ult in. Pick happening there. HV gonna get nailed by repeated Karthus Qs. Kaito Kid gonna pop the Alistar ult, gonna be that much more tanky. And in comes Rem, gonna ult away the Silas. Did not expect the burst damage there. Here comes Aphelios from the top lane. Lil Top gonna have to book it, but here comes the Gravitum, and the Scalibrum auto is gonna be taken out.
Man, the fact that you still remember the names of those guns after that fight, man, I'm honestly impressed. Because to this day, I still don't know what that champion does. Like, he just goes pew pew and things die. That's all I know. But I mean, hey, Transact gets his free lane down the bot lane, gets his free tower down the bot lane, gets a little bit more gold in his pocket. Still at a 30 CS deficit, however, and the LeBlanc is now chasing after him.
Oh, LeBlanc does have the distortion. I'm gonna miss out on though. Oh, and meanwhile, Transit gonna kill Instinct gonna with his Void Seeker, and here comes Anoink on the side. Actually, Thresh gonna Shurelius in. Transit gonna have to Gale Force away. But here comes LeBlanc again, and it's gonna be a flash and TP from Lil Top. This is not where you want to be, good sir. Transit looking for a bit of a re-engage. Ornn gonna miss his pillar knockup. HKV gonna hook onto the Alistar. And the Infernal not gonna kill anyone. That damage was neutered 50 patches ago.
Yeah, thank God, because I'm pretty sure that would have killed Transact afterwards, had it not been nerfed. But I do believe that Rutgers is in a more favorable side, especially if
HKV gonna get caught out. They had but Pulverize was delayed, so he's able to catch the flash. Silas Ornald gonna land onto 3 people, gonna absolutely devastate Rutgers. And here comes the sniper autos onto. And Rem gonna jump in. The Gale Force actually gonna go onto the Graves because he was a bit low health. The bomb is still gonna take out Anoink, but Rem goes down.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that trade is worth. How much that trade is worth. Rem did have a 750 gold shutdown on him, looking for the 1 kill in the absolutely doomed fight. No matter how low the health bars were, there was no way he was outplaying that one. He definitely dies there, and at most he gets 2 if he's lucky, and unfortunately he wasn't. He only gets 1. And they lose the Inferno Drake off the back of that. A really well played ultimate from Kaido here, taking the Ornn ulti and finding. And again, notice how the Ornn is only level 10, but the Silas is level 11, which means that his level 2 ulti is actually the level 2 Ornn ulti instead. And having that much of a damage difference actually allowed them to win the fight here. And good teleport back, and that's the difference between the Ignite and the teleport.
And I actually don't like this, but it looks like the Cypher's gonna opt in for the Ionian Boots Lucid. You're gonna get the 20 ability haste early, which isn't as much as you would like, considering he does have the Leandries, as well as Karthus' only 2 abilities that get reduced by CDR, being the Wall of Pain and the Requiem. So he does get his ult off sooner, but you're just trading so much damage from not going Sork Shoes.
Yeah, I think that he should definitely be looking into Pen here, given how little magic resist that the enemy team is going to be building in the first place. Having that little extra Pen could practically make him do true damage if he builds properly, and if the opponent loses the Shopkeeper as well. But unfortunately, electing for Lucidity Boots, as you said, only getting the ultimate cooldown a little off faster. I do believe that. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? Rutgers team comp it's too much in everywhere, right? It's a little bit of everywhere, and it's not enough of one kind of comp. I think what they're trying to go for is they're trying to get out the ultimate from the Cypher at the start of the fight. They don't want the Cypher to die at the end of a fight ulti. They want to get the poke off right off the bat, and then they blow somebody up. And now Rutgers has given up all the vision on the top side, and Herald's for free going to Northeastern. And there it goes.
Yep, gonna pick it up. Most likely look to crack open the mid turret here. It is just a... it is within Herald range to just get killed in one shot by it, even without anyone autoing. They do just need to push up the wave as 4, as 5, as many it takes. Because as soon as you break open that med turret, it's just so much easier to get that deep vision for the Baron pit.
Yeah, and notice how absolutely large Kaito is right now. With 5 kills and 7 assists, he's able to almost match Rem's lead here. Only 400 gold behind, and now is able to freely split push, and no one can answer him. The Orin is tanky enough, but doesn't have enough damage, nor enough sustain to deal with Silas's constant barrage of hits. And now he can freely split, has teleport up, and Northeastern can look at Baron here. At somewhat of a stalemate right now, as the dragon is going to be spawning in 2 minutes, so both teams trying for a little bit of early vision here, trying to get an idea or maybe even a pick here. But Baron is lit up once again by Rutgers. Surprised that Northeastern gave up so much vision control after winning those team fights. Rem is just running around in their jungle with impunity right now. 2 levels up on his LeBlanc counterpart though, which is something I must commend. But given that LeBlanc is absolutely horrid at farming, not a surprise either. Yeah. And the only shutdown left is Silas. At a 40 CS lead on his counterpart again, he's going to be a huge threat in the fight. And again, Cal, as you pointed out, he was, they did pick the Silas for the big ultimates, right? The Karthus ultimate, the Kaisa ultimate for self peel, the Alistar ultimate for tankiness. You know, he can become the tank for his team, and his built-in sustain is probably going to be too much for Rutgers to deal with here.
Here comes the Herald, gonna break open the mid turret here. Gonna allow them to just get that much more vision control in the top side quadrant of the map. Rem could be looking for a bit of a one-shot onto Lokilo here. Gonna Gale Force in the ulti as well. Requiem gonna be an afterward. Low top TP. I'm Nice Guy gonna ult and gonna be that much more tanky. Kaito Kid does steal the Alistar ult off the end of it, but what does it mean now? His entire engage is gone. Thresh is dead. Graves is dead, and it looks like there's gonna be a free Baron for Rutgers.
Yeah, and unfortunately, because Kaito has the Alistar ultimate, he is going to have to use it in order to get another one, and he will not have the cooldown in time to do it.
Spot out on the ward as well as Wall of Pain, but here they go. Sala's gonna pop the Alistar, they're gonna be not unkillable, gonna pop the stopwatch as well. Rem gonna be bouncing around everywhere. Here comes the Silas. Abduct gonna land onto Rem, cancel a W, but it doesn't matter, there's not enough damage.
Yeah, and in fact, the Cypher almost kills Sky's Blue with a single Q and Dark Harvest proc here. He's able to barely get out, even with the Leandries ticking here. But, you know, Drake has spawned, and now that Rutgers has to back off, Northeastern does get the consolation prize of a second Infernal Drake, which is actually going to be a huge boost in their damage, which is really what they need right now to close out this game. Because even after losing the Baron, they're only 1.5k gold behind, right? They can still find a comeback.
Graves is getting that juicy 9 AD, almost a longsword in damage, about 300 gold value by now, which is nothing to scoff at. And it looks like Rutgers is going to be deathballing down mid. It's going to be hard for Northeastern to match this Baron push. They don't necessarily have the best wave clear either, unless they want to send LeBlanc head first with the distortion to try to clear the wave. Rem could be looking onto Loki a little, but he does juke upwards, so he dodges out on it. Yeah, and it looks like bot wave going to be pushing out. No, it's going to be pushing out towards Rutgers most likely. It is closer to Northeastern. It looks like a hook gonna land on Alistar. Not gonna mean much, however. There's no one to follow up, and Rem gets blown up.
Yep, unsurprising. But now the counter engage again.
Yep, flash from the Cypher. Good hook. Alistar ult to disengage it and cleanse the root. They're gonna be a walkout. Unfortunately, Rem getting caught means they will have to back it off. Their Baron's not gonna mean much.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that this is probably a negative Baron power play here, as Rem does die. I don't think he he does once again give another shutdown. So, you know, a little bit more gold in the pocket of the Sky's Blue here. I actually want to point out something. The Sky's Blue elected to go for a Leandry instead of a which I find very interesting.
Meanwhile, Loki Law gonna get just his ass beat by this Orn Goliath. Double grab him, gonna land onto his Alistar. He still has no ulti, so he's gonna get taken out instantly. Severum Q gonna just explode this Karthus. Rat-a-tat-tat. Here comes the ulti, not gonna mean much. No one's dead from it. A bit of a waste. Gray's gonna steal away the red. And meanwhile, Kaito can buff way more than he can chew. Rem gonna get resets upon resets. Auto the Hail of Blades. Get another reset, gonna jump in. But everyone's gone by now. Rem gonna pick up a 2K.
The huge blunder coming in from the Northeastern side, especially from Kaito there. That looked practically like it, and he dove into 3 of them. Didn't press stopwatch even. I don't believe he was CC'd for long enough for him to even like, you know, not be able to get the stopwatch off, or sorry, the Zonia's off. So him dying there was actually a really bad play by him, because had he stayed alive, they would have been able to push that mid turret. They had 2 people dead on the Rutgers side looking for a push, and you know, that mid turret was almost sure to fall. But him dying and then Loki getting baited in by him, basically let the both equally bad plays from both sides even out. And now we're once again back at stalemate. And here we have the Dragon and Baron spawning at 2 minutes. The red side jungle is very well warded up by I'm a Nice Guy here. And Lilithop does have his TP coming up actually right now, so he will have the teleport available. However, again, the teleport advantage is on the Northeastern side, given that the LeBlanc elected for the teleport and Rem elected for the Ignite. Both teams looking to push out the waves here, trying to set up vision. We do have a Aphelios almost, I do believe that's going into Infinity Edge. He's almost there. Kaisa is also nearing the completion of I do believe that's a Runas. Yep, the Runas is completed. The Aphelios is backing right now for that Infinity Edge. So we will see the 3-item power spike on the 80 carries here for this next fight here. These 2 will begin to shine with damage. Karthus has the stopwatch completed alongside the Morellonomicon with the Leandri's Anguish. And Orin items actually not quite coming through yet because of the nerf to Orin. He only begins to give items at
but
level
TP
14.
onto the ward that was placed earlier on the mid wave. Sky's Blue gonna be here for the dragon a minute early. The ward was gonna go out since they want to use it eventually. Was not able to catch out Transact, unfortunately, so he will be able to walk it out. But it looks like they are still able to get some semblance of vision control.
Yeah,
Rem gonna
Rem
be
is
potentially looking to actually jump Kaito Kid here as he pushes out that bot wave. Orn gonna TP onto the ward in Dragon Pit. And it looks like Felix gonna be chalking down some chakrams. And here comes Loki all over the wall. Gonna be given a lantern. They do defend the pink ward.
Yeah,
Rem
looks like on that flank.
They do have the Felix turrets for the vision. They need a procket to get rid of it. And it looks like Northeastern gonna be picking up that mid priority, push out that mid wave, potentially even threaten onto the mid inner.
Yeah, given that there's still 15 seconds left and they have so little vision control, they actually indeed opt for
Alistar actually gonna be going in with the chem tank. No one's there to follow up, but the Shrelia is gonna be popped by Thresh and Fear, trading inhibitor for the soul point. 3 people gonna be resetting. They're just blitzing it down mid lane. Gonna get a free inhib, gonna get lanterned out. And it's just an interesting trade.
I think that's a great play coming from Northeastern. They had so little vision control in that river. You see it being lit up by I'm a Nice Guy here.
Oh, and look, it could be a death brush. Oh, here comes Rem. Oh, he spots it out with the sleeper at the very last second. Silas ult from Kaito Kid. The Orn gonna land onto so many people. Cards is gonna blow up everyone here. Alistar tanking up for the whole squad. Rem gonna be untouched. And it looks like Oink is just dead. Transact gonna look to blow up the block here, but
absolutely sent to the shadow realm here. As Rem finds yet another kill, chasing for that LeBlanc and finally getting the blue buff as a
Transact has forgotten what champion LeBlanc is. QW for 1 billion damage to the face. Heal not gonna be enough to save you.
Sent to see Mordekaiser a little bit too early as Transact is blown up, but Rem is able to output the damage from
I'm pulling up the chess recap, and it's looking like a blunder coming out from Transact here. Alistar gonna look to zone off the LeBlanc, gonna get rooted, hooked up, gonna actually go down here to the ethereal chains. LeBlanc unstoppable now, 6-2-3. Go look up for some claim kills here. Smoke's gonna land onto the Orn. LeBlanc over the wall, actually almost gonna get blown up here by the Gale Force. TP coming in from size on the flank. Here he is, gonna miss E, but it's gonna land on the Orn, so Rem actually is almost gonna escape here. And the knock up as well. Transact is back
with a
gonna
vengeance.
Killer Instinct in. HKV gonna hook him to slow it down, but the Orn ult such a low cooldown post 11. Gonna come back up and nail HKV.
You know what? He redeemed himself with that play right there. Transact finding a two-piece over at the end of the fight there. Not gonna have Baron, unfortunately, but is able to clean up for his teammates here. So Baron does indeed go over to Rutgers with actually only the Karthus alive to keep it. As Rem did end up dying at the end of that fight.
Orn also has it.
Oh, does Orn also have it? Oh, I'm a fool.
The beefcake himself, Orn, trudging down to the top lane with his cool pink toy. Gonna Baron up the minions. Alistar's there as a formality. Just two meatballs pushing in that bot wave at the speed of a snail.
Yep. And we have a dragon coming up in two minutes here, and do remember that this is actually the second Baron for Rutgers. We did have one taken earlier around 10 minutes ago here, but let's see if they can make a little bit more of a positive play, because I do believe they went into negatives for that Baron power play, or lack of power play, I should say.
Yeah, that first Baron
time.
definitely accomplished a bit, about as much as I Am Nice Guy Zeke that he's had for about 10-15 minutes now. Still a whopping 0 damage. I'm not even sure if he's connected at this point. Silas ult gonna happen. Running out of time on it. Needs to start the start the ulti cooldown for himself. Loki Law gonna get caught out. Wrong side of the map. You are not red side. That was last game.
Yeah,
gonna get caught out. It's just gonna be a free push in the mid lane for
Northeastern
Rutgers.
is making just blunders, man. Like chess.com's about to have a field day with their algorithms here, looking at the blunders.
I'm Nice Guy looking for a flank, not on the vision. Sky Blue, gonna face check him with the Silas. Alistar gonna be forced to ult or knock him, gonna land onto HKV and Kaito Kid, but he's just gonna get knocked up and CC'd with that grabbed him. Headbutt not gonna matter. Wait, is it? He walks it out the very last second.
Yeah,
what was the heal from?
I do believe the heal was actually from the Alistar.
There goes HKV, gonna tank up damage, might die to the Leandri's at the last thing. Kaito Kid gonna have the Zanya's the Ignite, and Sky's Blue also gonna die to the Karthus ulti.
With 40 seconds left on the Sky's
Yeah,
Blue
this looks like it could be game. How do they defend this? Aphelios has his chakrams running now.
Yep,
Gonna be rocking him, but Rem just gonna auto for free, take him out most likely. Just not gonna hop away. So 4 chakrams on the Aphelios, just autoing and autoing and autoing. And it looks like it's not gonna be game.
Rutgers very intelligent to realize.
Call.
Yeah, the Rutgers is very intelligent to realize that Aphelios has the most optimal guns for a team fight and makes the call to back off here. But actually, I'm a
Hexflash gonna land on the 2. But the hook onto Rem. Bear almost gonna save. And Oink, Killer Instinct onto the backline. Loki Law gonna go down here. Kaito Kid landing E auto, the Q as well. And TP from Sky's Blue gonna go into Decipher. I'm losing my voice. Electrocute pop. Decipher is just freaking gone in the blink of an eye. Rem's gonna be looking for a death brush here. Kaito Kid does not have his Zanyas. It looks like he could be looking for a solo. A bit of an ill-advised choice. Sky Blue gonna face check it with Distortion. Lantern for the vision as well. But how do they steal it? The E2 from Silas is gonna steal it. 3 Infernal Drakes now. Yell Force not gonna mean anything. Rem is frustrated. He's rocket jumping over all the walls to look for him, but they're all out.
Yeah, and very patient play made from the Northeastern side, waiting for that bomb to go off so they can get the burst off. Rem actually placed that bomb a little early, I'm gonna have to say. I do believe that if he got the bomb on at the right time, he actually had the burst to outburst the combined LeBlanc and Silas W and both actually W combos here. But the third Infernal Drake and Soul Point is given over to Northeastern as well, so both of them are at 1 dragon.
I would just like to say, I would like to congratulate Riot Games for creating Zeke's as the item it is currently. It has officially done a whopping 78 damage across the 80 different fights this Alistar has been in. Just great job, Riot Games.
Clap it up, Riot Games.
Zeke's is such a cool item. I'm not even sure. It's bound to the Zeke's have been bound to Rem, but Rem has just been running Kirito-kun, gonna solo kill everyone. I'm gonna clear 100 floors myself. So,
Indeed, I do believe that. I do, yeah. Indeed, the Zeke's is connected to Rem, but I do believe that I'm a Nice Guy doesn't even stay alive long enough for Rem to use it efficiently. As now both teams are now at once again a stalemate. The Rutgers team looking for very good deep vision into the into the topside jungle, and it looks like an absolute Christmas tree in the topside jungle for the blue side here, as they could be threatening Baron as soon as it spawns.
a bit of a death rush. Gale Force onto the field. It's gonna have to flash. And how much will his Karthus do? About 500. The Leandri's were gonna get absorbed by the Thresh Shield, but he will have to base. They're gonna get a free top turret and even more Baron vision control.
Yeah,
Kaito gonna run over it, but it's a formality at this point. The top turret's already gone, and they're posturing for Baron as soon as it comes up.
Yeah, and actually, this is the position that Rutgers wants to be in. They have the engage to look for a turn here, and they also have the burst to. I mean,
oh yeah, it's just gone. Blink of the eye.
It's gone. Blink of the eye. It's gone.
Yeah.
Yep, goodbye. Bye bye. Yep. And now they look for the turn.
Oh, but here comes the Ornn ult from Ornn, gonna land on the 3 actually. Headbutt Pulverize gonna completely whiff. And here comes Decipher onto the backline, just gonna flash him like a freaking psychopath. Eon Trump, but the field has 80 different chakrams. Kaito Kid with the Alistar ulti gonna be unstoppably tanky. Matt's gonna get exploded. And meanwhile, the Sky is Blue escapes at 5 HP, but is gonna proxy the mid wave to make sure they don't have anything to push with. A very smart decision on his end.
Yeah, and that was a 3 for 3 at the end of the day, surprisingly. But the teleport is complete. I do believe they're looking for the end. The Ornn and the Kaisa versus the Gravestone LeBlanc. Let's see if
oh my god, Transact is dead! The Ignite auto Q gonna explode him. 5-10-10 Graves, ADC in 2021. The clap from Liltop actually gonna stop the distort.
Yes, we love to see the Tank Assassin Burst Mage, Bruiser, Marksman, Ornn coming through with a massive damage in one combo, almost one-shotting the Sky is Blue, and walking out for that inhib for free, and taking absolutely no damage in return, by the way.
No, but don't worry, guys. Do not worry, for in that massive Baron fight, I'm Nice Guy just in the middle of everything, tanking up, knocking up everyone. His Zeeks did 81 damage to that fight in total.
He doubled his damage, guys. Clap it up.
Doubled it up. Anyway, Dragon Gummy coming from it. Soul for whoever gets it. Gonna be so much value. But it looks like I am Nice Guy. Gonna knock up the skull. Not gonna take it. I'll leave it for someone else. Gonna look for a deep vision step. Potentially even a flank here. He has the Elixir Vine, 3k HP, level 2 ult for that 65% damage reduction. It's gonna be so tanky.
Yeah, and notice how Rem has elected to buy a stopwatch for it to prevent the burst from LeBlanc and Silas, because that is exactly what he died to last time. Silas was able to 100-0 him with the completed Voice Staff and Morale and Lomicon to prevent the healing here, as both teams are posturing around the Drake that's spawning in 40 seconds. Rutgers with a lot of preliminary vision, has a lot of information on where they are. I'm Nice Guy backing for yet more wards here as he fills up on his wards and gets
I see you fell for Rem's. I see you fell for Rem's trapper, for he had that stopwatch when he died to Silas. He chose not to use it. You fool.
My mistake. He didn't expect to get 100-0 by a Silas, whose rotation of cooldowns is approximately 2.5 seconds, because CDR is bad. And notice how Rutgers is always in the front foot here. Like, in all seriousness, right? Rutgers always has the early vision here. Northeastern needs to walk in blind.
From Kaito Kid from base. He has 457 AP. Gonna go to the side here, hopefully. Just get a flank off, maybe force them away from this dragon. HKV a tiny bit caught out here. Kaito Kid just needs to get that Alistar ult. He needs to be that tanky, but he's not gonna pick it up. He's gonna have to Zhonya's here for sure. He's 1 HP, just completely caught out. Was not able to ult him, and it looks like the Ornn gonna land onto Loki. This is most definitely game, and Ornn gonna get caught out. Rem gonna get exploded, but he has GA. Does not matter. Transact gonna wipe out, and Oink, and it looks like HKV gonna have to walk it back to base. How do they defend this though? Is Infernal Soul Karthus does not have ult, but they are just going to push it in. There is no way that they can defend this, and on giving the GGs in the chat as well.
Yeah, with 30 seconds left on
LeBlanc
the
gonna
timer
get
for their
WQ'd.
Yeah, for their damage dealers, LeBlanc is only an assassin and can only output so much damage here. With 20 seconds still on the timer, they're just waiting for a wave at this point. LeBlanc is caught out with a Pulverize once again, and even the Zonius with just 300 HP left ends up going for a trade here, wasn't able to get it, and unfortunately HKB will fall alongside his comrade here, as it is an ace for Rutgers and probably the game as they turn on to the Nexus turrets and the Nexus here. 2-0 for Rutgers. And they very likely do secure the first seed spot with this win here. We shall see where the final standings are after this game. But, I mean, I had my doubts on the comp, but I guess they made it work. Like, I personally believe that this was not Rutgers playing well, but it was actually Northeastern playing extremely poorly. Both Kaito and HKV always in the wrong place at the wrong time. I only remember Loki Low getting caught once, which was quite crucial. But granted, it was only one time, and he had to check the brush for the vision. But Northeastern always looking for proactive plays and getting punished for it because they didn't have the initial vision set up. They didn't have they didn't have HKV walking with Loki Low, walking with the Sky's Blue, looking for vision inside the enemy jungle. Every single time we look at an objective, Rutgers always has the area lit up like a Christmas tree. You think that it's December right now, but no, people, it's February and it's snowing outside, by the way. And like Rutgers has the worst comp, but they just played the game better, in my opinion. I feel like they just played the map better, they played their locations better, and I guess they flank to get an E onto a key target, right? He could just play the front to back, play the sustain game. Again, they have the poke, they have the LeBlanc, they have the Silas Qs, they have the Aphelios Qs on his various guns. They didn't need to face them head on and fight them. But they tried and they failed because Rutgers had the beefier front line and they also had the damage to come up with it. And they played the early game well enough to get enough of advantage to find the closeout against Northeastern here. Whew! That was a mouthful. But that concludes the series, and that will be the end of the pre-playoffs journeys for both our junior varsity and our varsity teams for our teams here. If we take a look at the damage graphs here, if you will, you know, as expected, the Tristana and
The last fight, that item is garbage. Stop building it. Zeke sucks. It is so bad. Stop building it. It is such a bad item. Stop building it. 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 Stop building it.
well, there you have it, folks, from Keldrick, the support main himself. Stop buying Zeeks and put it towards Moonstone at that point because it's probably better. And thank you for tuning in. We will be seeing you in the next match once playoffs begin in the next couple weeks. The schedule will be out on February 13th, and the games will begin starting the 20th. We hope to see you around. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.
I'm taking my pain away. Nothing else more to say. Everything that I have, I'll give. First, you gotta pick a side. Now you got a team and you're rolling with the pride. Wanna play the game, make it to the end. I wanna bring it back again. I feel it inside. promise I made. Now I can change my fate. No one can take this heart away. First, you gotta pick a side. Now you got a team and you're rolling with the pride. Wanna play the game and make it to the end. I wanna bring it back again. I feel it inside. I'm reaching my stride. I'm standing my ground. I won't give in. I'm moving ahead. I'm back from the dead. I'm ready to fight again. Raising the roof, raising the roof, raising the roof. I'm raising the roof, raising the roof, raising the roof, raising the roof. I'm raising the roof. Find another way to fight another day. Find another way. Find another way to fight another day. Find another way to fight another day. Find another